In today's video, peak week, baby. Peak week. Alright, what is going on, Fit Fam? So, as you guys heard, this is going to be my peak week. The date of today is August 31st. So Monday, I wrapped up legs earlier today, and as of right now, we're about 5 days out. The show will land on September 5th. Now, before, you guys see my actual show day vlog, just want to give you a heads up. This is not like a, massive show by any means, nowhere near a pro debut. It'll probably be more of a small show. Again, it is a natural drug-tested show, and in addition to that, it will likely be outside, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. But because of California's restrictions, there's not going to be a lot of indoor, close contact gathering. So for this particular California show, they prefer to do it outside. So it's going to be interesting. Unfortunately, it won't be, that stage lighting, that coveted stage lighting, but it is what it is. And, I'm just glad I'll be able to compete, at all during this pandemic. So, yeah, guys, what I'm going to do for this video is I'm going to kind of give you a brief rundown, just a kind of a quick explanation of my peak week protocol as I run through several training clips throughout this peak week. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get that started. Alright, folks, so here we are. I'm just going to show some training clips as I kind of talk about my, personal peak week protocol. So, basically what I am doing for my particular peak week, the first time I did it, I believe it was just kind of like a normal carb load where I just kind of had lower carbs, maybe on Monday, not lower, but moderate carbs, and just kind of gradually, I think my coach had me gradually increase carbs throughout the week. For this particular one, I've been hearing a lot of good things about, a lot of good reviews about Lane Norton's peak week protocol. And so basically what that entails is kind of, instead of a backload of carbs in which you kind of, get that surplus of carbs, towards the end of the week, closer to the show, he actually prefers a front load of carbs in which you actually load more carbohydrates at the beginning of the week, taper it down a little bit, and then taper it back up and kind of fill into the show. So that's kind of what we're going with right now. And I've heard, he is a, natural bodybuilder, very, a seasoned veteran in the sport of natural bodybuilding, and I've heard some decent things about that. So I'm not following his protocol exactly, gram for gram of protein and, workout for workout, of course. I am tailoring it to what I've been personally doing. I got to some pretty low carbs, and it got to a point where it was I wasn't even losing, it wasn't even sustainable at that point. I was just eating literally just vegetables, and another week of torture, or should I focus on filling out for the show and make sure I get a proper pump, because I wasn't really able to get a proper pump on the first show. I do want to prioritize getting that pump because, the pump is such a huge thing. I want to make sure I have my glycogen cells filled out properly, and I've heard that this is a good plan. So basically, I started this kind of protocol on, last Friday when I was 8 days out. So basically, throughout this week, I'm kind of keeping my fats at a normal level, keeping my sodium at a normal level, and keeping my water intake at a normal level. As for my sodium intake, I'm not exactly tracking it. I'm just going with how I feel and, what I've been doing normally. I just kind of season a little bit of salt, a couple of, other seasonings with every meal for the most part. It's been working for me. It works fine. In terms of my fluid intake, I've been drinking 1.5 gallons, so I'm going to stick with that throughout the week. In terms of my cardio, what we're doing is I'm going to do my kind of normal-ish cardio at the beginning of the week. So today being Monday, I start off with 35 minutes of elliptical cross trainer, and I'm going to kind of gradually taper that down to about maybe 25 to 30 or 35% of that by the end of the week, at which point, just do a light 10 to 15 minute walk on the Thursday or the Friday morning of. So the focus here is to just kind of taper that down a little bit, reduce stress levels, because what happens is when you are super stressed out, that raises cortisol in your body, which helps you retain water and also impedes the fat loss process. The most manipulation here is obviously going to be the carbs. So again, I'm doing that front load. So I'll start off today. I'm doing about a 280 gram carb load. Again, for maybe some of you that might not be a lot of carbs, but my body was not used to a lot of carbs because I was virtually almost on a keto diet. So I don't necessarily want to load with 400, 500, 600 grams of carbs in the event that I spill over and or gain fat. Don't want to do that throughout peak week, obviously not optimal. So it's more of a moderate carb load, if you want to call it that. And again, we are starting off with those high carbs, gradually tapering it down to about maybe like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then kind of reintroducing slowly and do that moderate carb load for the show, and hopefully I will fill out. And Lane Norton's reasoning behind why you're doing that kind of higher carb load at the start is because you want to kind of test your body, see if you spill over a little bit, and if you do, when you do that next carb load into the show, you know what threshold not to go above, so you don't spill over, if that makes sense. Monday today is my last heavy leg day. That is because the reason I have it at the beginning of the week is because legs do usually take a longer time to recover, and by the time Saturday comes around, I want my legs to be fresh. I want my legs to be looking conditioned, and no achy joints. Don't want to have that be a problem. And then Tuesday I will hit a heavy chest and back day. That hopefully that pump will be insane since I'm having high carbs today. Hopefully that'll carry over into an awesome kind of full pump look tomorrow, so I'll shoot the sodium intake. And Wednesday will be some shoulders and arms, and then Thursday I'll probably do a light circuit, probably hit everything, a couple exercises, body part, just to get some blood flow. Friday I may or may not train at all. I don't think I trained the Friday before on my last show, my first show, so we'll see how I'm feeling. Maybe just do it just to, get some of that, deliver that glycogen to the muscle. That's probably the only purpose of it. And then, then we're gonna hit Friday. And then Friday we also have that little carb load, of course. And then we have some tanning to do. It'll be the first coat of tan. And then we're gonna do that morning second tan session on Saturday. So this is all getting pretty crazy, guys. I already have a full meal plan and full entire show day already planned out. I already have meal 1, 10 minutes after, do a light pump, get a light pump. Then I have meal 2 here. I got meal 3, meal 4, meal 5, and I have a reminder to make sure I get some oil, because at my first show I forgot to freaking get oil. Don't forget to get your oil applied before you hit the stage. And yeah, honestly, this is kind of a trial and error thing. I am doing a little bit of self-coaching, it is what it is. I'm learning a lot about my body, learning a lot about bodybuilding, about peaking, about contest prep, about posing, about, just the general sport of bodybuilding. There's so much that goes into it, not only science, but psychological factors, motivation factors, commitment factors, and discipline factors. But this is what I love to do. It's fun, not everybody is into it, and that's totally fine and respectable, but it's something that I enjoy. I mean, this is an amateur bodybuilding show, but I've put a lot of work and a lot of effort coming into this show. Overall, in terms of my conditioning, if I could go back, I'd probably start an extra month, 2 months before to reach the ideal level of conditioning that I would prefer, but it is what it is, it is what it is. I've probably been dieting for about 4 or 5 months now, and I'll kind of get into a later discussion, but I almost quit this prep. I was this close to quitting this prep, and I'm glad I didn't. And something bodybuilding has taught me is to always get back up under the bar, just like a barbell squat. When you fail, you have to re-rack the weights, put the bar back up, re-rack the weights, and you got to get back up under the bar. And that's the main thing that I love about bodybuilding. It's just about coming back a better version of yourself every time, the best of your ability, self-growth, doing what you can do. So yeah, guys, I think I covered all bases here. Let me double check. And I want to say that a lot of enhanced athletes, they do a lot of sodium and water manipulation. For me, I don't think it's really necessary, since not only am I natural, and that layer of water, that intracellular layer of water between the skin and like the muscles, it's like so finite. I'm not at that level yet, nor nowhere near it, so it's probably not worth stressing about, because you know the ramifications of stress will probably be worse than the benefits of cutting water and sodium. And in addition to that, I've also heard that you can't get a pump, you know, if you cut sodium and water. So and I kind of experimented with that, and yeah, it's kind of true. It's hard to get a pump without sodium and water. So make sure I'll definitely be including some sodium and water on show day, and maybe not water to the extent where I have to feel bloated or I am peeing a lot, but you know, just a little bit, and just to quench my thirst. So yeah, guys, I will now kind of conclude this segment of the video, and I'll kind of continue this vlog on one day out.